the guy playing Optimus Prime still kind of sounds like the Optimus Prime guy, but then like Megatron's like, "Oh my God, man, what's going on?" It's like, what is that? That's not Megatron. Like,
Today we're going to transform the podcast. You see what I did right there? Into there were triple Transformers, weren't there? Travis, you would know. Weren't there Transformers that turned into three things?
yeah, it was like they had that one. It was like a robot, a tank, and an airplane or something. Well, I think one was a train. It was like a train, a robot, and
The train.
a jet or something.
Yeah, it was like a purple and silver train, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would turn into the robot, the train, and the airplane. So just like that, the podcast has turned into a three-person podcast. So today they just dropped, speaking of Transformers, obviously, they just dropped the new Transformers movie, which I literally had no idea this was coming out. Justin, you sent this to me yesterday.
Yep.
And then I sent it to Travis. And we haven't talked yet. We're going to watch it together and talk about it. But I already think you two both have dissenting opinions on what this trailer is showing us is the plan for Transformers in 2024.
Didn't know I had an opinion.
Well, you said wow when you sent it to me. I took that as an impressed wow. And Travis, I know you have a stronger opinion. So I think let's run through the trailer, take a look at it together, because I honestly kind of got about 2/3 of the way through. And I was like, I need to watch this with you guys. So if we're good, let's pop it up and take a look at it's called Transformers 1.
Autobots?
Coming out
Roll out.
Where's the GoBots movie?
Oh, please don't.
Where is the GoBots movie? That's all I want to know.
No.
That bad guy was probably the coolest robot name ever, though. Sidekill.
Sidekick.
How do you remember all this stuff? I just remember the main dude turned into a motorcycle and he was like red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that was Sidekill.
He was the bad guy?
Yeah, Sidekill.
Oh, who was the
Yeah,
good
the
guy?
good guy
of
was
the
he turned
GoBots?
into a jet. I don't remember what his name was, though.
Probably Jetson or something. All right, let's get to the trailer. Here we go. Transformers 1. Let's sit back and watch. I'm just going to do this.
Let's go.
So, how long do you think we'll be here? I'm not talking to you.
You know what? We are so screwed.
Thought you weren't talking to me.
You two, come with me.
See, I'm already questioning the
Report to
humor
waste
in this.
management.
Hi there, I'm B127. I'm actually working on some nicknames. The one I'm floating right now is Badassatron, which is actually pronounced Badassatron.
We're gonna call you B.
This isn't
I
canon,
know
right?
we're just lowly worker bots who can't even transform.
In any realm.
Don't you want to see what's out there?
There's a reason no one goes to the surface. It's dangerous.
Why'd you bring jetpacks?
If we survive this, I'm gonna kill you.
That's supposed to be
Accept those
Megatron.
terms.
Yeah, like they were buddies in the early days.
You have proven yourself worthy.
What was the name of the Transformers planet?
Take these
Cybertron.
and
That's
access
right, Cybertron.
your
So this is obviously
full
taking place on
potential.
Cybertron?
It's time to show them we are more than meets the eye.
Ah, I see what they did there.
Transform now!
On three. One.
It's working. Where's my head? How do we use these things? Oh, look at wheels! I need wheels.
Guys, that's not good.
We've got these powers for a reason. Let's use them.
We stand here together as one.
Whoa! I got a battle mask! It appeared with this guy. Knife hands? I have knife hands!
I can see that.
These are not the bad guys.
Why did you cut the door?
What? No, it was already like that. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes,
It was.
yes.
Yeah, it was already like. Yeah, that's right.
Got like half the cast of the Avengers in it, apparently.
I just was realizing that. Yeah, I guess Chris Hemsworth is a Prime then, since he gets top billing.
I didn't sound like Chris Hemsworth though.
Well, the magic of movies.
Magic
All right,
movies.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be absolutely honest. I mean, I got a lot of different vibes coming from that film. Like, it's trying to be a version of Cars, but then also be serious, but then also be like something made for kids, like a DreamWorks Shrek film with the humor. Like, I'm expecting there to be Transformer fart jokes in this thing from what I saw.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was your, Justin, what was your initial impression when you saw this?
My initial impression was that for someone who has watched all these dumb CGI stuff and all this stuff, I think they're going to enjoy it, and I'm interested actually in seeing it, but not because I think it's my Transformers, right? It doesn't talk to me. I honestly have had a hard time with any Transformers outside of OG. It just, none of it quite works for me. But I am interested in seeing this just to see a different take on it and see where they go with it. So I am not ambivalent. I thought it was, I think when I said wow, it was more like, what are they doing? Like, where are they going to go with this? Yeah, like, who asked for this? Okay.
I'm kind of the same mind at first. I know it's obviously light years ahead, but for a moment when I watched the beginning of that, I was thinking back to when there was like the Transformers Beast Wars or whichever, what used to be on like Cartoon Network or Adult Swim or something like in the early 2000s with that early 2000s television CGI. Mm-hmm. Like, I felt like it was being done not even like a style, like done being cheaply. It looked a little bit cheap to me with the animation.
Yeah.
And you go right into the, my name is Badassatron. I'm like, okay, that's the level, obviously, of humor. We're going to set the bar really low from the start. None of the, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt during the watching. None of this is canon, right? There was never like a war where Optimus Prime and Megatron were like a team, right?
I looked it up because I was like, isn't that RC? And it's not, but it's her sister. Like, so that's
the pink
canon.
one, right?
Right. I never.
Yeah.
Again, this comes from the Transformer movies and the original Transformer movie in RC, and that's as far as I went with it because I didn't like everything after it. So I was like, okay, some of this must be canon, I guess.
I don't
people are
remember
talking
too
about that.
much about how Cybertron worked and all that from watching the old shows, but I do seem to have a vague memory that there was some supposed history between those two, Megatron and Prime, like when they were on Cybertron before the war or whatever. So maybe there is something about that, but my problem with this is, like, kind of like Justin said, like, who's this for? And this is what gets me. So I'm with Justin. Like the original Transformers is the one for me. Like everything after that, it kind of doesn't do it for me.
Right.
But
right.
You've noticed there's been a consistency between. So I think just about every Transformers cartoon or movie they've made, it's always had the same guy playing Optimus Prime, or at least a guy that sounds like the guy playing the same guy, right? And so, like in this one, it's kind of strange because the guy playing Optimus Prime still kind of sounds like the Optimus Prime guy, but then like Megatron's like, "Oh my God, man, what's going on?" It's like, what is that? That's not Megatron. Like I didn't even realize that was Megatron, and I was like, hold on a second. And then I guess that bee, whatever, is that supposed to be Bumblebee?
That's
no, it's Badassatron.
Badassatron.
That's where that lost me right from the start. That was the first thing I rolled my eyes at when I was looking at this yesterday.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't want to watch the whole thing because I'm like I said, that's the bar. We're gonna go for the lowest hanging fruit, and like you both said, like who is this for? It's like it's gonna want to put enough nostalgia because people like us, but obviously they want to try and see if I think they can hook kids. Because don't your kids have some of the newer toys, Travis, for Transformers, or no? They're He-Man.
Younger, they did.
Yeah.
so much anymore. But yeah, they had some of them were pretty cool. But that was around when the movie came out because when did the first Transformers, not the new Transformers movies, when did that come out? It's been like 15 years now, right?
The live action ones?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was easily 2005
So that's the
or
Transformers
6
they
of
grew
the
up with.
yeah.
So they had like a lot of those kind of weird looking new Transformer.
Yeah, that's true. That was kind of making it different from what we grew up with too, because those robots were very much like ultra mechanical parts. I remember some of those transformations, they were just like a hodgepodge of gears swirling and whirling around, which wasn't what I think about when I think about Transformers. You think of more of that stiff animation where they kind of they just became it. In the movie, it tried to make it a little bit like darker and more hardcore. But again, even who is that for? Right? That's trying to appeal to the younger generation who wants the big summer blockbuster popcorn movie with, obviously, from the Michael Bay explosion, since he directed
Oh,
it.
I like the live action movies. I thought they were
I liked the first couple, but it was a lot of the same over time. And then that last one they had last year, the Beast Wars one, was
I didn't see that one. The last one I saw was the Bumblebee one.
yeah, with John Cena.
No, was it John Cena? Was he in
Was
that?
he? Well, maybe he was in it and you didn't see him. I don't know.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So you're not.
But
gonna
yeah,
like my
I like
video.
that one.
All right, but back to the cartoon though. I mean, obviously, I'm going to guess at some point we're all going to see this,
I'm not
but
gonna see it.
you're not going to see it.
I'm not gonna. Maybe like when it comes on Netflix or something, and the
Yeah,
kids want to
that's
watch
what
it.
I mean. At some point, we're all going to sit down and watch
I'm
it,
like
whether it be in
Justin.
the theater.
I'm not interested in seeing this.
Yeah, so really nothing at all about it, huh? Like,
Yeah, I just-
what strikes you as the worst thing that they're doing with this?
I just don't think I care about what happened on Cybertron. Like, I don't care what his origin story is, especially if it's going to be this campy. You know what I mean?
Place your bets. Here's the ultimate question: is Megatron going to turn into a gun or a cannon, or is he going to be something else again completely? Because there'll be probably a lot of parents not wanting to see that happening. I still have my Megatron. Unfortunately, he's not in the vicinity, but he is actually stuck in gun form. Something snapped, and he will no longer open up and transform into a robot. So
I'll be honest with you. I mean, and this is just from watching this trailer, but I feel like I would rather watch Rescue Bots than watch this movie.
okay, fair enough. And the thing I think Travis said something too, or one of you said about it being an origin story, is yeah, I'm not really interested in that either, because is it a new origin story, or is it supposed to be an origin story into what we grew up with? Because it was always we always hear about the war on Cybertron.
I have a little bit for that.
Sure.
If you want to hear.
Yeah. Are you looking this up?
Yeah, I looked it up while my camera was crashing left and right.
Okay.
So turns out if you
good
don't
good thing you edit the videos for us. So
if you don't plug your camera into the power supply, the battery dies.
safety tip.
So there was an interview with the director, and he was asked, "Is this a fresh start? Is it a canon with the live-action Transformers, or is it kind of its own thing?" His answer: yes.
Yes. Oh, I knew you were going to say that from the first.
Hasbro
clip.
gave me this Bible of the entire history of the Transformers, and it is massive. So he says it is their take on the origin based upon Hasbro's backstory. Yep.
I mean, it's a take. That's the thing. It's what we think might have happened that we really have no information of, other than this constant talk about a war. The talk dating back to 1984, 40 years ago. 40 years ago. But
There definitely
I will
needs
say
to
one
be
thing.
some kind of war in the trailer, right? Because there's
Yeah,
all
it
these
seems like
other
their
wars.
army or their whatever army buddies would be on Cybertron. They're fighting something together, and I'm sure it's going to be like the age-old story. The Megatron wants to get more power, or thinks the war isn't going to solve any problems, and they need a new leader, and they disagree because Optimus Prime's the good guy, and maybe Megatron gets hit in the voice box. And that's when he gets the deeper
He
voice,
gets the deep voice.
as Travis alluded to. So we see in a battle how Megatron
By the way, I
basically
never
hits
trust the
puberty.
Transformers that has Optimus Prime with his mouth visible.
Yeah.
That's just That's not my Optimus Prime.
Well, it's interesting though that you said that you thought the Optimus sounded like Optimus. To me, I didn't think he sounded like Optimus, and I was like, that's not the original Optimus Prime. And
Yeah, that's not. Well, I don't mean like he sounded like him, but they tried.
it took
to
me
kinda-
out. It took me out
What?
immediately. And then
I'm gonna go
Bumblebee.
ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and play the. I'm gonna play the
Terrible.
beginning again really quick. Let's listen to it again and see.
So, how long do you think we'll be here? I'm not talking to you.
You know what? We are so screwed.
Thought you weren't talking to me.
That's supposed to be Megatron.
Come with
Yes.
That's Megatron.
Report
The guy
to
that's
waste
doing
management.
Optimus, he still kind of has a
Hi
deep
there.
voice. in
I'm
it, you know.
B127. I'm actually
Sure.
working on some nicknames. The
I
one
mean-
I'm floating right now is Badassatron,
And I don't like Bumblebee
which is actually
at all.
pronounced Badassatron.
Badassatron.
gonna call you B.
No, wait, hold on a second. I get so confused now between the cartoons and the movies. Bumblebee did talk in the cartoon, right?
Yes.
Did he have a higher pitched, like hyper voice, or was that another one?
I don't remember because there was him and Cliffjumper,
Yeah.
the two little dudes.
That's right. Okay, yeah, I mean, none of yeah, I don't hear it. I don't hear in any of those three something that alludes to. It's kind of like what they did with Super Mario Brothers, right? With Chris Pratt doing Mario. Like, I actually saw a thing where in one of the interviews when that was coming out, that him and Charlie Day actually did Mario and Luigi much more Italian, but it was coming out like Sopranos meets Goodfellas, and they told him to tone it back.
Hey,
'Cause I don't-
Luigi.
Hey, what? Hey, go fix your plumber, you stinking mushroom. Come on.
Take
I'm
care of this
working
boot.
here. Hey, what are these
You
toys
come
for?
here?
I can't buy nothing with them. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like, again, like Justin said, if he read that, I guess they sacrificed the voice, or this is like the younger robots. Because to me, I don't think the robots ever aged. So that doesn't make much sense either. Like, they don't develop. So again, I'm thinking at some point Megatron takes a rocket to the voice box and he gets a new module or something else happens.
Maybe when he turns
But-
evil, you know, he does an upgrade to the evil you know, voice pack 2000 or something.
All right,
It
so
doesn't sound evil enough if I talk like this, but now I can talk like this.
yeah, he needs the intimidate. He toggled the switch from geek to intimidating on his robot chest, so the voice box switched.
My son, he's 21, came banging on the door last night and said, Dad, did you see the new Transformers thing? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's excited for it. He has grown up with the CGI stuff, the quirky looks and whatnot. He hasn't even I've tried to get him to watch the original, and he's like, cool. So I'm kind of excited to go see it with him because he's excited, right? And so, yeah, I'm gonna go see it. I get. Here's the thing: the live actions I enjoyed, while I hated them. Like, it's weird. I did not.
You didn't want to like it because it wasn't your Transformers.
Correct.
But as an independent movie, if it was transforming robots and not Transformers,
Yes.
if it wasn't supposed to be tied to the cartoon, you would have enjoyed it. And I can completely understand that
Yeah.
because it works both ways. Sometimes something basic you wouldn't like, but they lay an IP on top of it and you now like it, versus you're watching something that I really wish they weren't basing it on such and such, because all I can do is compare it to what I know rather than enjoy it as a standalone movie. And I think that's also probably a byproduct of getting older, right? Because we've seen more and more of this stuff.
I think it's just, and this happens the same thing with comic books and a movie, book all this kind of stuff. I think what it is when you have something that you know was the original, you want it to stay that way. So you can have a remake, you can have a reimagining, but you need the characters to pretty much still stay the same. So you can do do it the way you want to do it, but you got to do it within that kind of mold. And that's the same thing with like the Transformers. And I think that's like hit what Justin is saying, because I also liked the live action movies, but I didn't like how they portrayed the Transformers, because that's not what I wanted to see. That's not,
Right.
what I thought it should look like. You know what I'm saying?
Understood,
So
yeah.
it's a good movie, but you're changing things, and then it's like, well, why are you changing it?
So I haven't heard your opinion on this in the past. Now we're kind of going off of the Transformers 1 because whatever. But one thing I always confused me with the live action is Autobots recognizable still, right? Okay, that's Optimus Prime. Well, we know it's Bumblebee, but it's Camaro. The Decepticons, I could never tell the difference between any of them.
You had to rub the sticker on the chest, and they would tell you.
It was weird. Like, why did they choose to go so drastically different with the Decepticons versus...
Oh, you mean in the live-action movie?
In a live-action film, yes. Sorry.
Because they had to look evil and menacing and, like, scary, right?
I guess. I don't know. It just... That was one of the things that I had a huge problem with, was that. And it kind of fits in with this, in that one of the problems I do have with this is that none of these characters feels at all like what I would expect them to be. You know, like close my eyes and listen. I couldn't pick them out at all. They're gonna have to do some heavy lifting to get from that to the diabolical Megatron that we know.
Very true. With the deep voice, because the voice obviously makes the villain.
Well, I mean, you go from Bumblebee to you just put a radio in there, and now you have a completely different voice. So Megatron just got a new voice box.
Now there will be no power in the universe to resist me. Decepticon rule forever!